started to join. We'll just start in 30 seconds. Hello, everyone. A very good morning to all of you. I'm Anand, welcoming you all on our today's webinar on Huawei PV Fusion Solar Installer Certification Program, Middle East. Thank you all the attendees for joining us today. As the solar industry is rapidly expanding, there is growing demand for competent professionals with the right skill and experience. And this certification program will enable and authenticate the installers. This program not only helps installers improve their solution design and service capabilities, but also serve as the basis for Huawei to authorize and incentivize installers. This is a two-day webinar, and today in the webinar, we will learn about Huawei Smart PV residential service delivery. And on the second day, which is on 17th May, the session will be focused on Huawei Smart PV CNI service delivery and Fusion Solar Management System. After this webinar, we will share the link with all the attendees through which they can register themselves and give a certification exam, which will be based on the learning of this webinar. On clearing upon the exam, attendees will be awarded installer certification by Huawei. The procedure will be shared further with you by Mr. Ayush Mehra. So before starting today's proceeding, I take this opportunity to thank and welcome our partner for the event, Huawei. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Ayush Mehra, Service Manager, Huawei Digital Power, to give a brief introduction about Huawei PV Fusion Solar Installation Certification Program. So you can please share your screen. So you're not audible.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're not audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're audible now.
Thank you, Anand, for introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Ayush Mehra. I am service manager for Huawei Fusion Solar Middle East. So when I say Middle East, we have countries like Pakistan, UAE, Jordan, Saudi Arabia. We have upcoming markets as well, Iraq, Yemen, Qatar, Kuwait. So all these we are covering here. Our team is based in Dubai, and also we have local teams as well. So let me pull out the document, and then I'll discuss the installer certification program. What is it exactly? How it's gonna benefit our installers, our EPC companies in the market. So let me know if you can see my screen. Second. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Are you able to see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. All good. All good. Thank you very much. So basically, as we know that the market is expanding, Huawei has we can see a very remarkable growth in Huawei's business. In last few years, we had our sales exceeded by 120%. So we have with the increase in the number of installers and the EPCs in the market, what we thought of that Huawei also helps our installers to enable them to have their abilities and enable their service capabilities in the market. So we have launched this program. So this program is basically we're gonna train, and then we're gonna train the installers, and the installers are going to have a certification from Huawei stating that you are certified by Huawei, basically. And further, not just you will have a certificate, but also you will have a sort of the sales opportunities and the marketing plans what we are going to bring for you. I'll be stating in my upcoming slides. So beginning, let's start with like I would have four chapters. First is guide, learning, and then the third is examination and the motivation, what benefits you're going to get. So the first is, what is this program? So for us, installers are like who are purchasing the equipment from Huawei directly or indirectly and selling it to the end client. So you are there in between. So you're not just providing the equipment, but you're also providing the solution, the services as well to the end client and owners. So this is why we want to work with you together to convince to give the best services to our end customers. So basically, you will, after receiving the certificate, you can also redeem the gifts. When you sell a product, you buy a product from Huawei, you get some points, and then you can get some gifts and other. You will have your data, you will have your information, your phone numbers, your personal contacts on the Huawei web. That is also one of the motivation that I'll be going forward and telling you in my next slides. Firstly, you need to so there are three ways to learn our product, our services, our solution is through these webinars. And this is our first webinar that we are doing. We also have upcoming webinars in the future. Every quarter, we are going to have one. And also the second way to learn for our product services is through our website. That is our Huawei website. So you go there. There are materials available. You go there. You study. It's self-learning material. We have a lot of videos available on YouTube, so you can learn. We have the proper recordings available. The third is that our partners in each country, our VIP partners are in Pakistan, in Jordan, in UAE, in Saudi Arabia, in all the countries. We have our VIP partners who are arranging trainings for you. You must have had done some before, but now we will have more in the future. So, but so after today's webinar, what I request you to is go register this website, that is community.solar.huawei.com. Don't worry about the links. We'll be sharing the links today after the webinar. So here you need to register. Registration is very easy actually. So you just need to put your email ID, password, first name and last name. Please make sure that the first name and last name are correct, because on the certificate you will have that name written. You will please write your phone number if it is possible and the country areas as well. So basically after the registration, this is also a second method to register. After the registration, you will have, you need to go to this website and then you click on certification. And after the certification, you will have, you have to take the course. So this is extra. This is the second way to learn. First way to learn is through our webinar. After I finish, my colleague will be jumping on the product knowledge. So certification, you can take the course. So we have residential course, we have CNI course. In the future, we will have Luna, but not now. Okay, not in 2022. In 2023, we'll be launching Luna courses as well. After you have done finish the registration, you go here. You need to, as I said, you need to take the course. This is method one. There's a platform called iLearningX.huawei.com. You will have the link in the after this webinar. You click there, you will have all your courses there. That's a self-learning. You will have your presentations, you will have your videos. If you cannot visit the link, please get your phones now, scan this application on your mobile phone, and then you will have a iLearningX.huawei.com application installed on your mobile phone, and then you can download, you can read the presentations, you can have all the data of Huawei products, solar products. Examination chapter, I'm just going to run through it. Examination chapter is basically after you finish the course. Once you think that I can finish the exam and I can pass the exam, you need to go to this link and you need to take the course. Make sure once you go on the website, on the right hand side, you have to write Middle East only. You just write Middle East only, you will have two examinations. One is the residential installer examination and second is CNI. So if you're engaged in both the scenarios, please do both the examination. If you just do residential, you don't do CNI, just take the residential course and take the residential exam. All right. So please make sure, guys, Middle East only, and then you will have your examination. Once you pass the exam, you will have your scores right away, and then you will have your certificate. You go to the users, you go to my certificate, you can download your certificate. Now, what is the use of the certificate? Of course, you have gained a lot of knowledge. You have done a lot of trainings before this certificate. Um, you will have sort of certificate like this, the template, but we are also working on a different template as well that will be launched in months. We have taken 30 questions in the exam. 30 questions will be from bank of 75 questions that will only focus on like common problems. Reduce the number of SR. When I said reduce the number of SR, that means reduce the number of issues. For example, you would know by the training course, by the examination, you will learn, and you don't need to contact your partner, you don't need to contact Huawei for those simple questions, because now you know how to solve it. You can do by your own. And the 30 questions will focus on that will improve for the solutions. So you will learn about the solutions, and also you will learn how to promote the sales and how to increase the sales opportunities. So the exam is very it's very universal and knowledge oriented. Motivation chapter is basically when you have the certificate, how you can take extra benefit. Of course, certificate is a benefit itself, and how you're going to get extra benefit. So there are two type of points, guys. The first is equipment installation points. The second is service certificate points. So I'm just going to first talk about the service certification points, because I just talked about the examination. Once you have the certificate, and we have a Fusion Solar management system, you have your account, you have your plants connected, you have done a lot of commissioning, right? So once you have the certificate number, which is written on the certificate, you're just going to bind that number with your Fusion Solar account, and then system will check you have the system online, you are the certified installer. They will give you a point. So they will give you points, and then later, once you have more points, you can actually redeem those points with the gifts. Okay. What extra points? Because certificate is only one. You're gonna get 20 points, 50 points. I don't know. But how you're gonna increase your points? You're gonna increase your points with the equipment installation. Whenever, each time you commission, you install an inverter, you will get points. For example, 5 kTL inverter, you will get 5 points. 6 kTL inverter, you'll get points. For example. So if you have 100 plants connected, you will have you can see your points are actually uh, increasing, and you will get more, benefits. These slides I will be sharing later after the presentations. You will know how you can do it. And then this is how you bind the certificate. I'm not going to talk about more. This is the later stage. And this is how you're going to claim points. Once you see you have points available, you are going to get more benefits. And all right. And also the third benefit that you're going to get in the future is once you are a certified installer, once you have the 1,000 points and one certificate that of course you'll get after study, you can sign up for the Huawei installer map. All your information will be on our Huawei website. And if somebody end client wants to, buy, then you will go and they will say buy now in which country, let's say Jordan, and they will see the list of certified installers in Jordan. So you will get the sales opportunity here as well. So this is one of the extra benefits. Isn't it good, right? So let's just focus. Let's step forward and try to get the certificate first, and that is why we are here today. And today is our first session for residential. And yeah, okay. I hope this is clear, and thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Anand, I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayush. So now it's time to begin our uh, first session of this program, which is on Huawei Smart PV Residential Service Delivery. I would like to invite Mr. Ergun Catalin, Senior Service Technical Head, Huawei, to begin the session. Over to
Yes,
you, sir.
yes, hello. Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, everybody see my screen, everything is okay?
Yes, sir, you can start the slideshow.
Okay, so I'm Eugene from Huawei. I'm service engineer in TAC from Romania. And today I will speak about residential product and solution. Okay, we can start. So the complete solution, as you can see in this picture, will start from the panel, but Huawei do not produce the panel with optimizer. Yes, we have optimizer. The optimizer are optional. We have the residential product, single phase product SAN 2002 6 KTLL1 and three phase product SAN 2003 10 KTLM1. We have the smart power sensor. We have also the battery. In this solution, we'll use also smart dongle, two type of smart dongle, VLAN FA and 4G, and smart power sensor, of course, single phase and three phase smart power sensor. All this solution, let's say, will connect to our monitoring portal Fusion Solar, as you know better. We are speaking here about residential solution up to 10 kilowatts. Let's start to speak very fast about each product in part. So we have a single phase inverter, SAN 2002 6KTLL1, has two MPPT and two inputs, 600 volts input per DC. It generates a built-in VLAN that will help you to connect locally on the inverter to commission the inverter and also to connect the inverter to Wi-Fi by default. We have other way to communicate with dongle because L1 it is compatible with both type of dongle, VLAN FA and 4G. This on this new product 6KTL1, we have the FHA function. This is the DCR fault detecting, and this product is compatible only with the optimizer 450 watts, not with the old optimizer. This new residential single phase will replace the old product SAN 2000L2 5KTL. Three-phase inverter, residential three-phase inverter, SAN 2003 10 KTLM1 has also two MPPT and two inputs, but it has 1100 volts DC input. Generate a built-in VLAN, but only to connect locally on the inverter and set the inverter. Communication with Fusion Solar on internet and Fusion Solar, of course, will be made through smart dongle VLAN FA that it is in the package. It's a standard in the package. Optional, if you want to connect with dongle 4G, you need to buy the dongle 4G. This inverter has also the function DCR fault detecting, compatible with optimizer SAN 2450 watts only. It has extra option PID recovery and ripple controller interface. Possibility to connect a ripple controller. I don't know if in your area it's used, but in some country in Europe it uses a ripple controller. Will connect in communication port in digital input. This product will replace the old product SAN 2003 10 KTLM0. Optimizer, the new optimizer, SAN 2450 watts. Communicate over DC and bus. The communication between optimizer and inverter should be made through DC cable. Support maximum power point track. Support module level monitoring when we use optimizer, of course. We don't have voltage when we use optimizer, and we need to measure the impedance that should be 1 kilo ohm per optimizer, per panel with optimizer. plus minus 10%, and reduce the PV string cable voltage to the safety voltage according with the standard NISE 2017 when the inverter shut down. It's a rapid shutdown function. Compatibility we already know with single phase 26 KTLL1 and 3-phase 310 KTLM1 and other inverter but in other area, in commercial area. As smart power sensor in this solution, we will use single phase and 3-phase smart power sensor, of course. Communicate with inverter through RS4K5. It is a bidirectional grid meter, measure input and output power for export limitation, and the current transformer are included in the package. For the communication, we use smart dongle in this solution. So we have two types of smart dongle VLAN FE that will support wireless connection or fast Ethernet connection with Ethernet cable. Using the smart dongle, we can connect in cascading scenario maximum 10 inverters, including the master. And it is a plug and play device. We will connect this device in USB port of the inverter, and the inverter will auto detect the dongle and the connection way. Smart dongle 4G, the same, support 10 inverter in cascading scenario. It's a plug and play USB interface, yes, and so the inverter will auto detect the type of the dongle and the connection through 4G. Very fast, some comparison between the old product SUN 2000L and L1. So battery compatibility, the old product L will be only with LG. The new product L1 will be with both LG and new Huawei Luna battery. Both inverters support export limitation, of course with a smart power sensor installed. Both inverters generate a built-in VLAN for the communication with internet and Fusion Solar. But only L1 is compatible with dongle, both versions of the dongle. The old L is not. An alarm port for to connect an alarm, only L support, the old one. Optimizer compatibility, the old L it's compatible only with the old 375 watts. The new L1 is compatible only with 450 watts, the new optimizer. Not necessary to install any safety box. DCR fault detecting AFC function only L1. Compatibility with DR-M0, it's a ripple controller in Australia, only L1. Smart backup box, only L1 is compatible. Inverter cascading, only L1. Grid reverse charging, the same, only L1. Insulating fault locating, only L1. So as you can see from this comparison, the L1 is improved. A lot of improvement we add to this new product, residential single-phase product. As a connector on the old product, we work with Amphenol. Now the connectors was changed to Staubli. I'm referring to DC connector, battery connector, and so on. Optimizer. We have new type 450 watt optimizer, and comparing with 375 watts. The old is compatible only with SUN 2000 L25 KTL and with an European model L0. The new optimizer, it is compatible with single-phase residential 26 KTL-L1, 3-phase residential 310 KTL-M1, commercial inverter 820 KTL-M2, and also with the new model M3. So the new optimizer are improved also. Using the new optimizer SUN 2450 watt, we will not have voltage on the string compared with the old one. So we need to measure the impedance of the string. Depend on the number of the panel and optimizer, we'll have 1 kilo ohm per panel with optimizer plus minus 10%. Using optimizer, of course, we'll have module level monitoring that both optimizer support, module level shutdown in full configuration only that both support, rapid shutdown in full configuration, both support. Compared with the old type of optimizer, we have a new function now that is supporting new optimizer, long PV string design. We'll see later how this will work. Also, physical layout image recognition, new optimizer is support, and this connection locating also the new optimizer support. As you can see, also we improve optimizer also. Application that we will use, of course, we will use Fusion Solar on the phone and Fusion Solar on the web portal. You know exactly the link. This is the link for the web, intl.fusionsolar.huawei.com. Will offer you the monitoring and control of the inverter. And Fusion Solar app on the phone. This application has two roles. One is to log in with your username and the password on the cloud to monitorize your plant, your inverter. Second role is to connect locally on the inverter and commissioning the inverter using SUN 2000 application that it is incorporated in Fusion Solar. We'll see later how we reach the inverter to set and commissioning the inverter. I think everybody knows that Fusion Solar application is not anymore on Google Play. So for this reason, we have three methods to download the application on your phone. So the first one is to download from Huawei App Gallery. Who use Huawei phone and who have installed this application, Huawei App Gallery, they can search there and download the application. Second way is to open this solar.huawei.com site on your phone in a browser, and on the main page, 3-line, you have the option download Fusion Solar application. The third method is to scan the QR code from the web page. We have a QR code that it is available for both iOS and Android. On iOS system is the application, it is in iOS store, so you can find also there. What I need to add here, the best way, my recommendation, the best way is to install from Huawei App Gallery, because we will be noted when we will have an update. Using other method, downloading, you will not be notified that we have an update available. So my recommendation, of course, many people that use Android will not have probably Huawei App Gallery, so they will not be notified when an update is available for the application. My recommendation in this way is to uninstall the application and install again at least one per month, because all the time we'll improve the application and we'll perform some update. But again, downloading this the method 2 and 3 will not notify you. Okay, let's see some scenario now with our product, residential product. We have a scenario, complete scenario with battery. So we can have optional optimizer. We can use optimizer. Single phase inverter L1 with battery, with a power sensor installed in a with a 3-phase or single phase smart power sensor, depend in what grid it is the inverter installed, because the single phase inverter can be installed also in a 3-phase system. So of course we need to use a 3-phase smart power sensor. We can have a battery, I said. We can have a backup box to set the inverter in backup mode. And the connection on the internet to reach the Fusion Solar, of course, will be made through built-in VLAN, because we have L1, or optional smart dongle VLAN FE or smart dongle 4G. We can perform a cascading scenario in this situation with a maximum 3 inverter. Yes, using L1, we can have a maximum 3 cascading scenario. Also with the battery, a maximum of 3 cascading scenario we can use. To commissioning the inverter, of course, we will use Fusion Solar, as you already know, to connect on the inverter and perform the quick settings. We will see later the steps of the quick settings and what we need to do to set the inverter. In cascading scenario L1, the single phase, as you can see here, can be installed a maximum 3 inverters in a single phase grid or a 3-phase grid, as in this schematic. If you use this cascading scenario, even the L1 can be connected to internet through built-in VLAN, it's mandatory to buy a smart dongle. In any situation, in cascading scenario, we need to use a smart dongle on the master inverter only. So this will be the master inverter that we need to connect a smart dongle, of course, the power meter and maybe the battery. The slave inverter will be connected through RS485. Communication between the inverter will be a daisy chain between the slave and the master inverter. On the master inverter only, we will connect the smart power sensor, single phase or three-phase smart power sensor. The master inverter will do the management of all the system, the power and so on. If we need to set a power limitation as zero export limitation, in this scenario, in cascading scenario, we have there an option closed loop controller. In this scenario, closed loop controller, we need to choose smart dongle in cascading scenario. And the export limitation time will be up to 5 seconds, the reaction of the inverter. If you'll have only one inverter, in closed loop controller should be set by default inverter, and we'll keep that default setting inverter. I need to add here something because some of the customers are confused. You cannot monitorize the slave inverter in the master inverter to go there in device management to select the slave. The inverter do not have this capability. The master inverter will send all the data in Fusion Solar. So only in Fusion Solar app or web you can see all the inverter there. Another scenario with a three-phase inverter, of course, using an inverter M1, we can cascade a maximum 10 inverter. The M1 is capable to install in cascading scenario maximum 10 inverter. Again, here, if each inverter will have a battery, a maximum 3 is recommended. So we can use here also optimizer optional, a three-phase inverter. Of course, using a three-phase inverter, we will use only a three-phase smart power sensor. We can have also a backup box and a battery. And as I said, without battery, 10 cascaded inverter. Connection on the internet and Fusion Solar will be made through dongle, of course. M1 generate a built-in VLAN, but only to connect locally on the inverter to set the inverter with Fusion Solar app. And we'll have in the package, as I said before, a smart dongle VLAN FE that will connect the inverter to internet using the Wi-Fi or the Ethernet cable. In case that we will have a cascading scenario, only on the master inverter will have the smart power sensor dongle, and that's it. The rest of the inverter that are slave will be connected through RS485 communication to master inverter. We will perform a daisy chain between the slave and the master inverter. As the installation part, you can access our site support.huawei.com, also solar.huawei.com, where you can see a lot of movies. You can download the manual, quick guide, and so on for each product. On this site support.huawei.com, you need to create an account. The other site solar.huawei.com, you will choose your region there. It's without any account. You have access to manual, quick guide, short video, installation video. I recommend you to visit the site. We have also an application that is designed to help the installer. It's HiKnow app that you can download from Huawei App Gallery, of course. This application has a HiKnow robot that you can ask something and he will answer to you, will generate data sheet, technical data for you. This application, you can reach the forum and so on. Also, this application has a smart function. It's a scanning function there that you can scan the serial number, yes, of the inverter, and the application will generate for you the basic technical data, quick data, a quick guide, manual, and so on that help you during the installation. Okay, as I said before, using the new optimizer type, we can install inverter in long string design. What this means? But this configuration long string design is available only in full optimizer configuration. So we have here some example using this panel JKM300M. We take this as example. So the number from here are not standard. What is standard here is that L1 single phase, you can install 5,000 watts per string, and for a three-phase inverter, you can install 10,000 watts per string. So these two values are standard. In the rest depend of the panel, of course. So let's see some example. Single phase scenario with Huawei battery or without battery, we can install 13 panels. In a three-phase, 21. In long string design, taking this panel as example, we can install 16 and 33. So single phase 16, 3 more panels, and on three phase 33 panels more extra. I need to add here because I have an example of a customer of us, and the example it was like this. He buy a 20 kTL M2 inverter. He installed a inverter in long string design. So he put maximum power per inverter, 10,000 watts per string. This inverter model M2 has 4 strings, and he put 40 kilowatts. So he doubled, yes, in long string design. And he wait the inverter to produce 40 kilowatts. But it's not possible, yes? So the inverter will produce, as in datasheet, maximum power. Why I want to install more power in long string design? I will have wrong orientation, shaded situation, I have winter, and so on, yes? So this will help us to have more period in maximum power from the inverter, but will not increase the maximum power of the inverter. I think you understood the idea. Now, using the optimizer, we need to check the strings, correct? So we don't have voltage, we will have 0 volts. And as I said, we need to measure the impedance that will be around 1 kilo ohm per panel with optimizer. We have here a table that will show us what is normal and what is not normal. So between 0.9 and 1.1 kilo ohm, I'm saying here per one panel with optimizer, the value is normal. So the panel plus optimizer, it is good. Lower than 0.9 kilo ohm is not good, or the multimeter is not correctly, or the optimizer is faulty. Higher than 1.1 kilo ohm, also the same, is not good. How we'll measure a string? How we'll check one string, complete string with optimizer? I will return to this. Let's go here, like this. And here you can see a table. I have the number of optimizer, 10 for example. And I need to check my string if I'll install correctly and if the polarity on the string is correctly. So first, I will do a correct measurement. What is mean this? Plus to plus, minus to minus. And I will have this value 9.85. So this is mean that the string is installed correctly. But now I need to check also the polarity. I will make a reverse measurement. Plus to minus, minus to plus. And this second measurement value should be lower than the first one. In this example, we have 8.13. Now I am sure that my string is correct. And I can install the string on the inverter. And now let's return to this one. How to install a string correctly, yes? I think we know. Because I check the polarity is good, the cross-connected is not, and so on. So I know how to connect correctly. I know how to use the the DC connector because they are standard, plus and minus are different, and so on. So these are basic. If you do a wrong installation, a wrong string connection, of course the inverter will generate an alarm. All PV string reverse. Some PV string are reverse connected. Some optimizer of PV string are reverse connected, and so on. According with the alarm, you will act and fix the problem. Also, the optimizer will generate some alarm using the optimizer and the inverter, of course, optimizer fault, abnormal PV module configuration, and so on. If you check on the inverter, if you check on the website, also you will have some troubleshooting guide, one, do that, and do that, and do that. You can act if you read exactly what are the troubleshooting recommendation, what you need to check. We'll have probably some upgrade failed, for example. Why this is happening? Sometime, yes, sometime. It's happening because you perform or you set the inverter in the evening, almost night, the DC is low, even the inverter start the update. He start because he has the power from AC. He will upload the firmware 80%, and after that, between 80 and 100, he need DC to perform, to finish the update. In the past, the inverter stop and generate upgrade fail, but now we fix this problem and we have upgrade delay. He will not finish the upgrade. He will go to upgrade delay. What is mean this? He will finish the update when the conditions are met. What does this mean? Next day, when we'll have DC power. So don't worry about this. You can do it next day. It will not cause the inverter failure. This alarm upgrade fail. Other alarm generated, you can check and see the cause as optimizer fault. We know how to check the optimizer now. Also the optimizer, after you connect the optimizer, I say that we have the panel monitoring. We can see exactly each panel, the operating, the status, the voltage, the production, and so on. We'll have, during the functionality with optimizer, also some alarm generated. Over temperature, internal hardware fault, output, backfeed, abnormal output voltage, input over voltage, and so on. According with the alarm, we can check the optimizer and the position, yes, where the optimizer it is installed. We already speak how to check the string before to install the string with full optimizer. I need to add you here that the inverter uses the AC power in order to unlock the optimizer. So this is very important to check before to connect the string with optimizer to inverter, because if the string is correct, installed, in fact, the inverter will start automatically to search and unlock the optimizer using the AC power. Meter installation on the inverter, we will have here L1, for example, a three-phase meter. We know how to install the meter. We need to install the meter on the main point of the consumption, yes, to measure all the consumption in that place, yes, not a secondary. We will not put the CT transformer on the inverter cable. The CT should be installed on the grid cable, yes. You have there a grid meter and your main switch. So the CT will be installed on that cable to measure the total power in that place. After we install the meter correctly, we'll connect the meter through RS485 communication on the inverter. On L1, we'll connect on the position 3 and 4. I need to set a warning here for you. Do not install the meter in the position 1 and 2, even it is there a RS485 communication. The position 1 and 2 is for cascading scenario to connect the inverter in daisy chain between them. So the meter will be installed in the position 3 and 4 only. If we'll have a battery, we'll connect together with the battery in the position 3 and 4. Another recommendation for you, it is to check the meter. not leave the site. Yes, do not install the meter like this. You suppose that it is correctly because you respect the schematic, but you don't check the meter on the screen. The meter has an LCD screen. Normally, a meter installed correctly should measure all the power positive. Positive for a meter is mean consumption. The three-phase meter has 4 active power. Total power, and after that power for the phase A, B, and C. All these 4 should be positive. If one of the power with the inverter stop, I need to add here, you need to stop the inverter, yes, from production, and you will measure in that place only consumption. This should be the measurement. In this is mean positive. If one of the power phase B is in minus, it means that the current transformer it is installed at reverse. So you need to change the connection here. Maybe you install the current transformer instead of white, blue, blue, white, and this is mean you reverse the sense of the current transformer. So you reverse here, you will check here the cable, or you will check the arrow of the CT. This is very important, the meter to work correctly, because the meter will send the information to the inverter, and the inverter will act. Will act how? Will control the power with the information received from the meter, or will show you the correct or wrong value in Fusion Solar. This is very important to check before to power on everything, to check if the meter it is correctly installed and he measured correctly the power. In a three-phase inverter, we'll have a three-phase meter only. Here in the L1, we can have also a single phase, of course. Here it is an example with a three-phase. Single phase will be in a single phase system, and the connection the same in the 3 and 4. Here we have the M1 three-phase inverter with 2 connection way. One, it is with neutral, and the second one, it is without neutral. I think this is very rarely. In any situation, the meter communicate with RS485, of course, and the position on the communication port of the inverter will be 7 and 9. Again, install on the main breaker, on the main cable, the CT and the meter. Check the meter measurement before to power on the inverter. All the active power should be positive. After we perform on correct installation, of course, we need to check, yes, to measure, to check the polarity, to check the voltage, to be in range with the inverter. Yes, we have a single phase inverter, 600 volts on DC. We have a three-phase inverter, maximum 1100 volts. Anyway, you design the string before, you measure the AC, and you power on the inverter. What we'll do next, it is to commissioning the inverter with Fusion Solar application. Before to commissioning the inverter, we need to create an account on Fusion Solar. It's very easy. Everybody know how to create an account. And after that, I recommend to perform this schematic in Fusion Solar Web. I will have this training, in the next training, Fusion Solar, to perform this level. What is mean this level? So first account, it is a admin account that can manage all the plant, all the user, and so on. The second level, installer level, they are the installer that you create for your customer, for your employee, for your colleague. And we'll see how we can do this in the Fusion Solar training. If you have a large company, let's say, and you work with other company, you have 1, 2, 3 company that work for you, it's better from the beginning to do this structure. Create a company for each installer, and for each company an installer role. They can see and create only plant, user, whatever, only in their company, and they cannot see other installer what they do, and you can see all, you as admin, as a VAP or admin, the first level or the installer. I will explain to you this structure because now it's very hard to explain here on this schematic, but will be easy to explain directly on the web. How I'll create this. Okay, let's suppose that we finish with the account. And now we need to commissioning the inverter. What I need to do here, it is to log in my account, choose the setup wizard. Of course, the inverter is on. Yes, it's working. The LED are green, no red, no fault. Okay. After that, we scan the QR code of the inverter. Here we need to scan the QR code of the inverter because we need to connect first on the inverter. And after that, we return to the application. If I will scan the QR code of the inverter, the application will redirect me to SUN 2000 application here to connect locally on the inverter. But between this and this, here I am on the internet. Here I need to create a local connection between my phone and the inverter. So here the phone will ask you to disconnect from internet and connect to the inverter Wi-Fi, to the local connection. After that, I will log in on the inverter with the default password 5x0A, and I will choose the quick settings. If you connect for the first time on the residential inverter, it will open automatically the quick settings page. And you need to follow some steps. First one, to set the grid code. Here, according with your country, yes, your region. Second, next page will be to check all the devices connected. The new residential product now, L1, M1, will auto-detect all the devices if they are correctly connected. Battery, meter, optimizer, smart dongle. All the stuff should be green here if you connect correctly on the inverter. If you have a cascading scenario, from this page, you need to do it manually. The inverter will not auto-detect the slave inverter. You need to perform this cascading scenario, follow all the indication, and in the end, you will have 1, 2, depend how many inverter you connect in cascading. And after that, we will have an inventory, complete inventory with all the devices connected, and also with the cascading inverter number here. Okay, after that, we'll go next. And we reach the page where we need to connect the inverter to internet. What we'll have on this page? First, if I use a VLAN FA dongle, or I connect the L1 through built-in VLAN, I will have this page with VLAN connection. I need to choose local Wi-Fi and the password of the Wi-Fi. And the result will be this, connection to the management system. If I have a VLAN FA dongle and I connect the dongle with Ethernet cable, I will have this fast Ethernet communication, and DHCP will be enabled on the inverter. It is enabled by default, but it's better to check. Here I need to add for you some tips. If you want to connect an inverter with VLAN FA dongle and Ethernet cable, first connect the Ethernet cable on the dongle, and after that connect the dongle on the inverter, in order the inverter to synchronize and auto-detect the fast Ethernet communication. If you connect first the dongle and after that the cable, you will have problem because the inverter already synchronized with this wireless. Yes, because you connect the dongle without cable. A dongle connected on the inverter without cable for the inverter, because it's our plug and play auto detect, it's expecting you to connect on Wi-Fi, not Ethernet. So first the cable and after that the dongle on the inverter. If we use a 4G dongle, the inverter will auto detect in this step the 4G communication. The 4G connection can be automatic or manual. If I will set manual, I need to set all of this, APN mode, APN number, username, password, PIN, whatever. And I need to know all of this from the operator, yes, or from the paper of the SIM cards from somewhere. I need to have this detail. If I don't know, I will put automatic. Of course, before to connect the 4G dongle, we need to test the SIM card, yes, to work. We need to test the 4G that works or not. Okay, after we finish to connect the inverter to internet, we'll go to the last inventory that will see all green. This is means succeed. Everything works. I will finish, I will confirm, and after that the application will redirect me on the cloud, on the Fusion Solar cloud here. And again, between this and this, you need to change the connection from local. Yes, your phone here, it is connected directly on the inverter. It is a local connection. Now you need to disable the local connection and connect your phone to the internet to return to cloud here. What we'll do here, add plant, fill of the details of the plant, add the serial number of the device, and finish the plant. After that, create an user for your customer. Will be an owner user, of course, for the customer, and finish the process in the end. After that, connect, login, return to your account to monitorize the inverter. So these are the steps of commissioning. Now, sometime I need to return to the inverter to check the inverter, to check the status, to fix a problem. Sometimes we need to do this. How I can connect on the inverter? I have two ways. One, I will log in my account in the cloud, yes, on the internet. I will go to me and commissioning. I have this tab of commissioning that will open for me SUN 2000 application, the local application. I have another option. It's like this: disconnect my phone from the internet, connect directly the phone to the inverter, yes, to the inverter Wi-Fi, open Fusion Solar, log out if you are logged in, and on the main page you have three dots. And if the phone is not connected to the internet, we'll have available this commissioning device to open the local SUN 2000 application. Connect on the inverter. You can scan the serial number of the inverter, the QR code, and password. You know the password, device monitoring, and we check, for example, the status of the inverter. For in this example, we have an inverter in grid detection. We can check the alarm, we can check the status, we can export the log file, we can do different settings that we need to fix a problem. If during our installation we use optimizer, we need to create the physical layout. We have three options to do it. This is possible to do it in SUN 2000 application, in the application that will connect directly on the inverter. In maintenance, we have optimizer layout, yes. But before to create a layout, is recommended to create this physical layout template. What this means? In the package of the optimizer, you have a paper, this physical layout, and during the installation, unstick the QR code from each optimizer and stick on this paper directly on the correct position. After that, you will make a picture of this paper and you can upload this picture in the application here. And the physical layout will be created automatically. If you don't create this paper, of course, you will note each serial number of optimizer, position, and string to create manually if you don't want to create this one. It is possible to create this in Fusion Solar application, physical layout, or in web, on computer, yes, in Fusion Solar web. But as I said, we need to create first the physical layout template or to create a list. For example, I come to, this is in application. I will select the PV plant and I will go to layout. I will upload the picture here and the layout will be created automatically. If not, I'll go to web, yes. And if I don't have this picture to create automatically, I'll have a list like this, PV1 with number of optimizer, PV2 with number of optimizer, and I need to drag each serial number in the correct position if I have the list. If not, how should I know where is this position? I don't know. For what I need to create this layout? Imagine that the strings are on the roof, one of the panel or optimizer is faulty, and I need to go exactly there. If I don't have this one, I will know only that on the string one, I have a optimizer or a panel faulty, but I don't know the position. So I need to check all the panels from that string. So it's not so good to check one by one to search a serial number that is faulty. So for this is physical layout recommendation to create. I can create this manually on the web. So I will add here how many row and column. This is mean how many string. After that, I will add the inverter, one or two inverter. And after that, because I have the list, I will add each optimizer in the correct position. This is on the web. It's very easy to do it. You can delete. You see, you can delete. If you do something wrong, you can delete it. It's not, how to say, it's not like I cannot return to the original. Yes. After we install the inverter, we have some power adjustment that we can do it directly on the inverter. And here we have two options to control the power. One option is directly on the inverter. We have reactive control, active control. For example, active power control, I can set on the inverter a fixed value or in percentage. In reactive power, I can set a Q characteristic curve. In the residential area, this function is used to keep the inverter when the voltage is very high. So these are the control set directly on the inverter. And it is like it's not a variable control. For example, if I will set a value or a 50% active power directly on the inverter will act and will work forever like this until I will return to the original, unlimited. We have grid type point control in active power. This is a variable control. What does this mean? Using the smart power sensor, of course, is mandatory to act in grid type point control. I can set the inverter in grid connected with zero power. This is mean that power sensor will measure the consumption, correct, of course. We'll send the information to the inverter, and inverter will act. How? He will produce only that value of consumption. If he can cover that value, he will work in limitation. If the inverter cannot cover that consumption, he will work unlimited, will cover the power that he can, and the rest of the power will come from the grid. Power limited grid connected. This is mean that I will put, I don't know, half of the production to go to grid and half for the consumption, or in percentage. As I said before, using this function export limitation or other function, we'll have here closed loop controller. You see this option. Here, if I have only one inverter, will be like this. If I will have a cascading scenario with a dongle, I need to choose this closed loop controller smart dongle. This is grid connection with zero power. The inverter will follow the consumption. Yes. In this situation, he can cover the 3 kilowatts consumption and will work in limitation 3 kilowatts. Here, the inverter cannot cover the load and he will work to maximum power, and the rest will be taken from the grid. It's simple. Important here is this meter to measure the total consumption and to measure correctly. Imagine that you don't install this meter correctly. The meter measures the power with minus. We'll send the power with minus to the inverter. For the inverter, power with minus is mean that you already export to the grid, and the inverter will say, okay, you don't need my energy, I'll be limited to 0. And you're wondering why this is happening. Because the meter information is precious, be correctly, yes, the inverter to work correctly. Here we have 0 in 3-phase. It's the same situation, but here we have 3-phase, and sometimes the phases are not balanced, and we'll have from some phases export and some phases only import, but the total should be 0. And we have two situations here: total power settings with 0, grid connected to 0 power. We have this limitation mode, total power. In this situation, inverter will export the same for 6 kilowatt. We split for each phase in 2 kilowatts. In single phase power, the inverter will take as reference the lowest phases. We'll export 1 kilowatts per each phases. In case that you have a very unbalanced situation and do not export some energy, you will put single phase in order to adapt the inverter to the lowest phase that you have. AuthHE function. What is this? This is arc fault detecting. It's happening when the PV module or cable are incorrectly connected or damaged, electric arc may be generated. What we need to know about this function is that will come enabled by default on the inverter. And if you have a fault, if the alarm will be generated more than 5 times in 24 hours, the inverter will not clear automatically the alarm. Normally, our inverter, in general the inverter, I think, if we'll generate an alarm, we'll have a fault, of course we'll stop to protect first, and after that, if you fix the alarm, normally the inverter will clear automatically the alarm and will start to produce. In this situation, if the alarm will be generated more than 5 times in 24 hours, you need to clear manually the alarm. How? First, connect locally on the inverter, and from the alarm management, select the alarm and clear. Of course, first you need to fix the problem. This alarm clear will not solve the problem, yes? And second, we have the option in web portal there, clear DCR fault alarm, yes? Also, this is the second option. Some troubleshooting. During the installation process and monitoring process and so on, we need to do different stuff. Upgrade, for example, here in the field of the residential, in general, if you have the latest application, Fusion Solar, when you connect on the inverter, the update will be automatically generated by the application. Yes. The application will have the latest firmware. You connect on the inverter that has an older firmware, and the application will ask you to update the inverter, and you cannot skip this, so you need to continue with the update. The second one is to update from the web. The installer account only has this access to update the inverter by himself, and so on. So here, let's say that this process is not so complicated because the inverter automatically will ask for update. Device log, these are important for us from service. When we need to check some problem of the inverter, to give you some recommendation to check if it is a warranty case, we need a log file. So we can export the log file from inverter directly from the maintenance, log management, and we can export the inverter logs. Your RAR archive will be saved automatically in your phone, or you can share directly if you have set an email with us. Yes. And you can export the log file of the inverter from Fusion Solar, also from your account, but the inverter should be online. If the inverter it is offline, it's not possible to export the log file. The log file will be sent to service to check some problem of the inverter, of course. We have we have the status of the inverter. As I said, we can check, and the first level that we can check the inverter is to check the LED. The inverter has 3 LED there. We'll have the first LED is for DC, the second is for AC, and the third LED is for communication. Yes. So on the label of the inverter also we have this one, the status of the LED. I mean, this is like this. I want to do something on the inverter and it's not working, but the LED are completely off. So what you are trying to do if the LED are completely off? This is when the inverter is completely off. You will not manage to do anything. So let's check first why the LED are completely off, or after that the LED are completely red. This is mean a fault, an installation fault or something, or the inverter itself it is fault. So as you can see, the inverter are important. After that, we have a lot of alarm that can be generated. Yes, I hope not. Some of the alarm are very suggestive and you can fix it and give you exactly what you need to do it. For example, low insulation resistance. I have a short circuit in AC or DC power, so I need to check the cable. An over voltage alarm. Generated inverter stop. It's clear the voltage is too high, the inverter reached the protection and stop working. 2064, you need to work with us, yes, together to see what is the fault. Maybe it's a warranty, maybe we can do something for you to recover the inverter. In the rest are up to you, let's say. On each quick guide, if you download the quick guide of the inverter, in the quick guide, in the end of the quick guide, you have this process of resetting the password of the inverter, yes. Most important here to follow exactly the indicator, the LED. Yes, they are most important. If you don't manage to reset the password from the first time, remember, wait 3 minutes. Do not do it very fast again. Yes, this will reset the Wi-Fi password change me and the application password to the default 00008. So will be reset both password, Wi-Fi of the inverter and the local password for the application. The process is working, believe me, but pay attention on the blinking LED. Yes, it's very important. With new optimizer and new product now, we have locating insulation resistant fault. If we have this kind of alarm, in the alarm suggestion here, we have some percentage that we multiply with the number of the PV and we can see where the fault can be. Yes, you will multiply with the percentage generated here on this alarm with the number of the PV and you'll have a number. For example, we have a case here, 14 PV, 34% multiply will have around the panel number 5. There I need to check the fault, if you remember. In any situation, if I will have low insulation resistant alarm, I need to perform the isolation test for my cable. It's a short circuit, clear that. I need to fix the problem, and after that I can power on again the inverter. In this kind of alarm or residual current or low insulation, the first that I need to do is to power off the inverter. Do not damage the inverter. It's clear. I have a fault. I need to fix it. We have a rapid shutdown function using the optimizer. We have 2 methods to activate this rapid shutdown. One is turn off the AC. The second one is turn off the DC switch of the inverter, and the voltage from the DC will go to 0 up to 30 seconds. We have also some troubleshooting connecting on the inverter. Yes, VLAN connection failure. The VLAN network is not allowed. Your phone cannot connect to the inverter VLAN. What could be the problem here? First, you can disable the network, forget the network on your phone and try it again. Second, the password, you change the password, you don't remember the default password of the Wi-Fi. Third one, the inverter is already connected to a phone. The owner forgot the phone connected or something. Only one phone can connect to the inverter. Third one, we have two problem that we meet all the time in the customer. The Wi-Fi is too busy in the house. Yes, the internal Wi-Fi and of the inverter will work on the same channel with the router, with the Wi-Fi, and will be busy, and all the stuff connected there will lock the inverter Wi-Fi. This is happening to me twice. I need to stop many devices on the house, yes, to release the Wi-Fi of the house, and after that the Wi-Fi was generated. Second, that we meet especially on iOS, is there an option on the Wi-Fi? It's a private network. If you disable that option, you cannot connect on this because this is a private network for the inverter. It's the inverter network locally. Is there an option in the settings of the Wi-Fi, of the inverter Wi-Fi, that if you disable that, you cannot connect on the inverter? This fault is not a fault. The customer, they are not attention and disable that anyway. The password I said incorrect password, or the Wi-Fi I said it is by another phone. Yes, or the inverter is already busy with something. Anyway, if you can see that if you cannot detect where and why the inverter is connected to other device or reject you, the best way is to restart the inverter, yes, and we'll cut all the connection, restarting, and it's fresh. You are sure that it's not connected anymore to any device, local device from the house. We have now a new function with new optimizer. The function is optimizer disconnection detection. It is there in maintenance, yes, and you can perform this function to check where is your problem with disconnecting. Yes, these locations are disconnected, to go directly there. Of course, this position will be also according with the layout and so on. You can test this when you have a faulty or disconnected optimizer during your installation. This was my presentation. So now I think we can answer to a few questions. Yes? Correct?
Yes, so we have a lot of questions in the Q&A box. You can check it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come the new L1 do not have visual alarm? This is good one. Yes, they eliminate this option. So we don't have a visual alarm possibility for this inverter. How to limit load using smart meter? Here, as I said, to limit the active power of the inverter, it's mandatory to use a smart meter. This is from the beginning. How to limit? We'll go to active power there on the menu, grid type point control, yes, and we have their option, 0 or power limited grid connected. 0 is mean that the inverter will not export the energy to the grid. We'll take the information from the meter, what is your consumption. He will try to cover only the consumption, to produce only that value. And the other option is to put a value there. For example, in the power limited grid connection, 2 kilowatts. This is mean only 2 kilowatts will export to the grid. The rest will measure the load. We'll try to cover the load. What about optimizer for the latest high efficient PV module above 400? This, for the moment, I'm from service guy. I'm working with what is on the market. I know that soon will be 600 watts optimized. Yes, if you are referring to this. Can you share how I can view this slide trying to register? The slides also, if you register on that site, my colleague, I will show you how the site, you receive information. You will have this presentation also on that site. you can reach this presentation. Yes, to remind you. What about the data support if we may connect dongle for each individual inverters? You can do it. Yes, you can do it individual. But the recommendation here is for cascading. Yes, you'll have only one dongle, one inverter, and put the slave and only one dongle. It's your choice. But imagine how many inverters you can have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Imagine 5. Let's say 5 inverter with 5 dongle, 5 Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi will be very busy. A lot of problem, believe me. And you will have also other stuff. The presentation, you can have it. Fluke, what is mean? Fluke is the name of a meter, right? It's a name of the meter, multimeter. If we have current greater than 250 amp, is the smart power sensor chain type damaged? Could you please advise us by using smart power gray? Okay, in this residential solution, we cannot use other type of meter. The inverter are not capable. We cannot compare the inverter with the smart logger, for example. In smart logger, we can add whatever meter we want. The smart meter, single phase, 3-phase meter is predefined in the inverter, and we cannot use other type. Yes, this is residential solution. If you want to put more power and use now with the latest firmware of the smart logger, for example, you can use also residential inverter M1 with battery or M1, and you can install a smart logger. Can we update multiple sites with one click? For example, if any company has installed 100 sites along with the team responsible to monitor. I'm not sure what you are. Do we have any filter through which we can check which system are running the old farmers so we can update them rather than checking every system one by one for update? Not, sorry, only one by one. Yeah, I understood now. In the device maintenance there, you can check one by one to see the firmware version, and after that you can update one by one or the same product, I think. We'll see the new product now is changed, but we'll see in the next training. We'll do this together, yes. And what you can do, I think, I don't test it, honestly, because I don't have the permission. Of course, I cannot perform for you an upgrade. What you can do, for example, you can choose there, open the upgrade tab, you can choose the inverter, you can choose the firmware version, for example, L1. And when you go to the plant, will be generated all L1 inverters. So I think you can select all in the same time. Yes, you can try it. Or if you can choose the M1, will be generated there all the plant with M1 inverter, and you can choose all. But imagine my recommendation to perform 100 once. Imagine that there is a site, network, and local inverter. Maybe some will fail because of the network busy, right? Do the indicator suggest or inform solution to recover from alarm, or should we need to refer to manual always? Yes, the inverter or web or application, whatever, you can see the alarm has suggestion. Yes, if you select the alarm, or if you connect directly on the inverter in alarm management, you select that alarm. Yes, has some suggestion, basic suggestion that you need to follow. 1, 2, 3. How to monitor the inverter remotely? Only in Fusion Solar. Yes, the inverter will be connected to Fusion Solar. You will have an account and there remotely from everywhere. Single phase L1 event can, yes, single phase L1 can be connected with battery, Luna 2000, and also LG battery. Once we delete the index for a plant, and how can I add it again? In the same way, if you delete an inverter from your plant, if the inverter is still connected to the internet and management, will be again online on the Fusion Solar. We can add it again to another plant or to the same plant. If you cannot do this process, the service will help you. Yes, you send an email to service to help you in this one. We need support. Can you give mobile number? How to I need maintenance for it? Always we have the support service and email, yes, number and email. Can we talk about PV module not compatible with Huawei inverter? I don't know what type of module. Anyway, this type of PV module is something string design. We recommend you to use our smart design, Huawei smart design, and there you can test your. Yes, this is another story here. What I can say is like this: do not decrease the voltage recommended by Huawei and the short circuit current. This is the mandatory. And the second, use a tool to design your string. In your area, maybe you don't have so many problems with the low temperature, but here in Europe, we have winter and a lot of problem with the string design. Anyway, yes, so I think this is the last question. So I finish from my side if you don't have other questions.
So, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for this insightful and knowledgeable presentation. And I hope all the attendees must have learned a lot from this. So with this, we have come to the end of the first day of our program. Don't forget to join us again on 17th May for more interesting sessions on Huawei Smart PV CNI service delivery and Fusion Solar Management System. We'll also share all the details with you on how to register and give the certification exam on the email IDs. Thank you for joining us today. Please join on 17th May again. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.